Hey guys, good morning. This is Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, and I wanted to do a quick recap video. I've been away for a couple of days. I had some issues with some data pools, so I was fixing them, and it took me a while and got busy at work. So I wanted to do a recap of the sports betting picks from last night and how you find them on the NBA cheat sheet, and also take a look at some daily fantasy recap plays that we typically do. I want to do a little bit more of these videos so I can kind of show people that are more of a visual learner of what I'm looking at and kind of what I see. So you'll see I posted the screenshot here in the group. Let me pull it up for you. So here we put the sports betting tutorial recap was 3-0 yesterday. I'm going to show you where I find the difference of these, how I get the cheat line, and then how these ended up. And then we're also going to take a look at that custom deal we looked at for daily fantasy. We hit on that a little bit ago, and oh, that's really blurry when I blow it up. And you can see these plays for cash games, if you build your core out of here, they continue to do really well, and we'll take a look at those. So I'm just going to do a quick recap video, and real quick we'll hit on it. But the boom percentage plays, 11 of 15 hit value, these top couple guys. That one didn't kill you, but they were huge minute jumps. And lots of times those players don't get the minutes, so that's fine. So real quick, we're going to do a sports betting recap first, and then we're going to look at the daily fantasy recap of how you can build some core plays, and I'm going to go over that strategy again. So as always, this is the sheet from yesterday. One of the things that I do when I have time is I add this column for actual value to see if they hit that 4.9x, 5x, and higher. And then I want to go through and see kind of how like the boom did, the GPP algo, our custom projections and whatnot. So let's look at the sports betting. So we have our scores over here on the left side. Let me make sure you can see those just from ESPN. So typically I go up here to the very top game. So the first one, I'm looking here to see if there is a difference of 7 or more. We see Orlando buying 9, so that would be a NBA model play on the cheat sheet. However, if you follow a fade rule, I always look at these last 10, and then I look at these home or road splits, and then I'll look at recent games to see, if I like it. Well, here, Portland's lost 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5 games, 2 and 7 over the last 8 games, and then Orlando's kind of 50-50. Banchero's been picking it up. I know we talked about that. So either way, whether you follow it or not, we had Orlando by 9, so our model projected this, Orlando 113 to Portland 112, and Vegas was given Orlando plus 8 points, so that's where we get the difference. And then we come over here, and you can see here the Magic won 109 to 106, so they won the game as an 8-point dog outright, and we had them winning the game by 1. They actually won the game by 3, so that's a win. That's positive. I really like that. So I flip down here to the next game. The next one here, we're looking for a difference of 7. The bottom is always going to be the total, and the side's always going to be the top. So here we've got Phoenix by 10. Okay, so how we get that number is our model has this projected Phoenix within 2 points. So 112 to 110, 113 to 111, depending on if you want to round up or not. But we have Golden State as a 2-point favorite, but Vegas has Phoenix getting 12 points, mainly probably because DeAndre Ayton was out. And look at them, they're 1-9 over the last 10 games. So the underlying stats are decent. We're saying, hey, 12 points is too many to give this team. And then we come over here, we take a look at it. The Suns actually won this, which was shocking. 125 to 113 is a 12-point dog. So we just had them staying within the 12, saying, hey, that's too many points. And they easily covered that. And that was even after -7 fourth quarter here where it was 34-27. But they rolled the first quarter. They were plus 11 in the second quarter, plus 5 in the third quarter. So they had a huge lead after 3. That one was in the bag. So that would have been a second win. Over here, Charlotte by 5. That's not 7. We have by 4 by 2. That's not a big enough difference to be a model play. Oh, here we see our third play. So over by 10. So Vegas had the Philadelphia game 225, but our model had this at 234.8. We'll round it up, 235 points. Without getting into all the nitty-gritty details, let's go over all of this, and it ended up at 147 to 116, which is 263 total points, so that went over. So if you would have followed that, you would have got 3 wins. If you do the fade rule, you could have faded the first 2 sides and just taking the over on the Philadelphia game for one. But either way, it kind of points you in the direction to look at some plays. And again, you have to make the decision if a stud player is ruled out. So looking at this game, if Embiid was ruled out, Harden was ruled out, I'd probably say, hey, I'm going to stay away from it. Now, you can dig in and look at the on-off court stats for those individual players, but that's a lot more complex than what the average sports bettor wants to do. So I just say, hey, if you understand what changes when they're off the court, that's fine. If they're ruled out, you know, go ahead and fade it. If you don't risk money, you don't lose money. Now let's go over here and take a look at the DFS stuff. So I come over here, I look at the boom percentage plays, I sort high to low, and then I look at the minutes, I look at the player labels, which there weren't a ton yesterday, a lot of mini diamonds and then limited upside on here. But you can see they did well. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the top 5 hit value, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of the top, what is that, 13? So not too bad. So that ended up pretty well. I had a pretty good streak here. Had some guys that really popped. I'll come over here, look at the GPP algo, because that always gives us some different players. And flipping down here, didn't do too bad. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 of those hit value. The ones that missed didn't really kill you. 4.8, 4.8, 4.5, 4.6, 4.9. Those don't kill your lineup. It's the 1x, 2x, 3x guys like 3.4, 3.9. Those type of guys will hurt your lineup. So overall, the majority of those hit, which was pretty good. And I'm going to go over again, if you're looking for a way to be different in DFS, scroll over here to the right. And here I'm going to shrink these middle columns so we can take a look at it. So I'm going to shrink these here so we can kind of just bring them in and get them real close to each other. All right, let's shrink these columns too. Going to need more space. So I had posted this. I've done a video on it. And once my data pool went kind of crazy because they moved some columns around, I didn't have time to dig back in. Let me show you one of the ones where I uploaded just the custom DFS projections for the players that we filtered out. And so this was on the 9th. I put it in, and I ran 20 lineups. Hey, bud, you done? Sorry, my dog's scratching. And I ran 20 lineups with just our custom projections, and you can see here it put up 297, 291, 288, 285, 279, 279. So it's not winning a GPP, but pretty good for a cash game. Now this is just 6 of the 20 lineups, and I filtered them by highest to lowest. But typically when you do this, you're going to see 250, 260 is kind of the top. So when I got a few pushing 300, 290, 288, I was kind of, okay, I want to look into this a little bit more. So one of the things we are going to do, we're going to look just here. Last 5 fantasy point per minute production times projected minutes. So we're not going to look at the season average. We're not going to weigh it down. We're not going to do any of that. So we're going to sort this high to low. And then you can go here and look at players. But I recommend, oh, and I already had that filtered out. Let me undo these so I can kind of show you. Okay. So the first thing we do is we filter this high to low. And then you can kind of look through the minutes. A lot of these guys that squeak in here with 14 minutes, 18 minutes, 19 minutes, some of them get to the top. So I recommend just pulling that caret, going greater than or equal to 24 minutes. So we just want players that are going to be on the court for at least 24, 25 minutes at a minimum. And then over here, your fantasy point per minute production, this is your per season. And this is over the last 5. So you can kind of see a percentage, who's up, who's down. Typically, you'll get a lot of misses on these guys that are like 0.53, 0.59, 0.78. They really don't do a lot for you. Orlando Robinson, 0.95, 0.94. You can start looking at some of those guys in that range for GPP because if they get some extra minutes, it's good. But I like to just go greater than or equal to 0.99. So I want them at least a fantasy point per minute. So if they're averaging 1 fantasy point per minute, they play 25 minutes, I'm looking at 25 points. And so those are the 2 filters we're doing. We're just using this custom column, sorting it value high to low. That's pretty simple. Step 2, filtering out by 24 minutes. Step 3, we want guys over 0.99. Now, this is what it's going to give us. These players right here, and these would be the projections if you want to upload them into your optimizer. Now we scroll over here. Now that we've got this in order, now we want to kind of take a look at and see how they did. Now, just glancing down here, they did really good. And I haven't got to go back and dig into this for a couple of days, but let's go ahead and just kind of take a look right now. And let's pull this large chunk. And I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit, so hopefully you can see it a little better. Okay, so the first guy missed, Lockdale 4.1x, but we got, that's a good one, that's a miss, so way overvalue, good, 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 good. He doesn't kill you at 4.8, overvalue, overvalue, hit value, overvalue, miss, miss. Doesn't kill you at 4.9, hit value. Had a couple misses in here, and then hit. Got a miss, hit, and then these last three hits. So you can kind of see, and the 4.5, 4.6 don't kill you, but we'll put them down as misses. But overall, I mean, they look really good, and so I'm excited to kind of use this. I haven't had a chance in a couple of days, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of the top 13 hit value. So if you built a lineup, and look at these names, you notice these aren't the guys that are, well, except for Embiid, that are over 10K. You know, Malik Beasley, Jalen Williams, Gary Trent, Dort, Nurkic, Kenrich, Oladipo, Plumlee, Washington. Yeah, I mean, not too bad. Now, one of the other things I noticed is, okay, Lockdale, he was up here and he missed. So I want to take a look at him a little bit more and see what could we have seen that would kick this out. So one, we have a decline in fantasy point per minute production of 16%. So he's at 1.17. He's playing down at 1.01. So he made our filter cut, but it's minus 16%. So he's kind of on a downward trend. And then you come over here, look at his minutes, 15, 17, 16.7 over the last 10 games. And then over the last 5, 18, 12, 0, 19, 17. So I didn't go look, but I'm sure he probably just didn't get the minutes. So he hasn't been playing 26. That would be a huge jump for him. And then, so we could have X'd him out. Now, Killian Hayes, we would have played him. I don't think there's anything, because like 34, 36, 35, he's got the minutes. Fantasy point per minute production, he's plus 10%, 1.06 up to 1.16. So we had him. He's just one of our misses, but not too bad. But if you go through and you use these players to kind of find a core, build around it, build a lineup from them, it does pretty well. I typically don't get to play a lot of DFS with work, the sheets, the website. I have 2 kids in sports and activities, and then I'm always updating stuff. And like the last couple of days, I had to fix stuff, and we're also getting ready for baseball. So I don't get to play a lot of DFS. I do a ton of player props and same game parlays, but I love to dabble in DFS. Only about 3 or 4 days a week I'll get to put a lineup in. But when I've noticed this, it's been working really well. So I want to point it out, show you guys how to use it so you can utilize it. You guys who play DFS all the time who maybe are not into sports betting. So anyways, the cheat sheets are free on Thursdays in our Facebook group. The link is in the description of this video. So I get a lot of people that message me and say, where's your Facebook group? Look at the link in the description. It's in there. If you want to try the premium group, it is super cheap. It's $15 a month. That's the highest plan, which is like 50 cents a day. And then you get all the sheets, all the sports that we do. I don't split it up and nickel and dime people for this sport, that sport. We do golf, we do baseball, we do basketball, we do football. We dabble in some college sports. We do some college sports betting. We do a little bit of everything, and I try to keep it really, really cheap. In our Facebook group, we also have a premium chat, which the guys in there throw plays in 24 hours a day. We got a lot of guys in there that do soccer, NHL, correct scores. I mean, I can't even keep up with it, but it's a phenomenal resource to use to get in there and follow those guys. So anyways, I hope you guys like this video. I have to get some real work done today, so I am getting ready to run out and do a couple inspections for my actual job, but I will be back this afternoon. So good luck.